up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I'm working on a home in the world of Oasis Springs, and it's actually been quite some time since I've built anything in this world, and I was feeling very inspired to build a retro home. So that is what we're doing today. I found a picture on Pinterest. It wasn't necessarily a photo, it was like a drawing of a house, I believe. And I didn't really copy the house, but I was just inspired by the facade because it had like a staircase and a front door on basically the second story of the house. And that is something I felt very, very inspired by. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I keep forgetting about it for some reason. So this house, as you can see right off the bat, has a staircase on the exterior leading to the second floor, and that is where the front door is located. So the floors are like swapped, if that makes sense. So we have like the kitchen and the living area and the hallway and stuff. We have that all upstairs, and then downstairs is where we have the bedrooms, and the house also has a small little basement. So yeah, it's a 3-story house essentially, and it's, I guess, retro inspired. I was building this over on stream for the most part. I did do a little bit of the furnishing by myself, but we did most of it on stream, so that was a lot of fun. So I didn't have to do it all by myself because this is definitely a little bit out of my comfort zone. I like to do modern builds from time to time, but I usually like to do like mid-century modern types of little like bungalows or like 1-story houses, and this one is, well, definitely like mid-century. Well, it's more so 60s inspired actually, but still, like, it's very boxy. It uses platforms for the roof, and I don't know, I like doing these types of builds, but it's also always a little bit out of my comfort zone. So that goes for this one as well, but I'm really, really happy with how it came out. And yeah, so I built it over on stream, and I was asking my chat, I was showing them the picture, and obviously you can see what I'm working on right now. And I was asking them, like, what decade do you think this house is from? And people were definitely saying like 60s, mostly 60s, maybe like early 70s, but it gives mostly 60s vibes is what most people told me. Obviously, I wasn't around for those decades, so I have no idea. But yeah, my best guess would be it's a 60s house, or like built in the 60s. So that is kind of what we're going with. And for the interior, I basically did the same thing. I didn't really have a set storyline in mind for this house, but as we were furnishing the place, we kind of decided that we didn't want to use any like modern technology in this house. So we don't have a fancy TV. We do have a TV, but it's the one that came with the basement kit. And we don't have a computer in here either. It wasn't because I was thinking that this setting entirely was like in the 60s. It's just more so that I was really enjoying the style of like the 60s or like retro, the retro vibes basically. I was really enjoying that. I was feeling very inspired by it. And so I tried to place a like large modern TV in the living room, and it just didn't vibe with me at all for this build. So that is basically when I decided, you know what, let's just not do any modern technology. Maybe the people living in this place are a little bit like stuck in the past. Maybe they don't really care about TVs and computers, or maybe they have a laptop and it's just not put on any table or surface right now, so you can't see it in the house. The fact that they have like a very retro little TV might be a little bit odd still, but I really enjoyed using it because we finally have a great like vintage kind of looking television that came with the basement clutter kit. We already had one that came with Eco Lifestyle. It was one of the debug TVs that you can find while dumpster diving, and that one always really, really works. But I like the one from the basement clutter kit just a little bit better, and it's also still pretty new to me. Or like new to the game. So I still really enjoy using it. So yeah, that's the one that we're using in here. I do think I used one of the ones from Eco Lifestyle in the basement because we do have a little basement, which is very funny. You can see that we have a pool, and then later on I decided to have a basement, but I still wanted there to be like some sort of like natural lighting coming into the basement. So we have windows that basically look straight into the pool, which on stream we all thought was very funny because when you're down there in the basement and there's people in the pool, you can kind of just, you know, just look at their legs when they're swimming. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that way we do have a little bit, at least like a little bit of natural lighting coming into the basement, and I also thought that it was just it was a neat feature to have like a pool window. Basically, it's weird, but it's neat. So yeah, that's what we have in the basement. And for the basement, I decided to furnish it, like make it a cluttered little storage space, but also it has a little game room down there, and also it has a guest bed in there. So if there is a guest staying over, they can stay in the basement, which is not like the nicest place to stay, but I thought it would make the space a little bit more functional. There's also a small bathroom down there as well, so that is pretty nice actually. And then for the rest, for the storyline, like I said, I didn't really have anything particular in mind for this house, but as we were furnishing the place and as we were thinking that maybe these people are a little bit stuck in the past, they don't use any modern technology, and also as we started to landscape the place, it started to become a little bit more like overgrown and definitely not newly built, like actually a house literally from the 60s. So it could use some renovations in some regard. So yeah, taking that into consideration, we were thinking that maybe this house could work for a couple of empty nesters. So a married couple is what I was thinking, and they have two older kids who are away at college. Maybe one of them is already done with college and the other one is still in college, but pretty much like very close to being done with school, and the other one maybe has already graduated and already has like started their career and are living somewhere else, and then the other child is living in the dorms away at university right now. So yeah, they're basically empty nesters. I did decorate bedrooms for them, but they're not as like decorated as I would normally make them. They're not as personalized because these people, like these kids that used to stay in these rooms, have moved out like a few years ago. So yeah, the rooms aren't really used for anything right now. And then maybe at some point, maybe the parents want to either sell the house and get something smaller, or maybe one of the children will like buy the house from their parents, or maybe they'll inherit the house or something like that, and they will renovate the entire place. I feel like it would be a lot of fun to actually take this house and renovate it and make it just, you know, prettier, because it's pretty right now, but it's most definitely outdated. And I like that look and feel in The Sims, but also I think it would be very cool to take this house and make it basically 2023, if that makes sense. I think that would be a lot of fun to do because the house itself is really cool. Like it's vintage, but it could also work in a like contemporary way, I guess. And yeah, I don't know. I can really see that. And I think renovating a place like this in real life, but also in The Sims, would be a lot of fun. I've actually been thinking about this a little bit more lately because I used to not know, like, when people ask me, what is your dream house? Like in real life, what is your dream house? What sort of house do you see yourself living in? I really haven't given it much thought because there is so much that I like. Obviously, I love to build in The Sims, and there's so many styles that I like to do. There's so many types of houses that I just really, really love, that I just like, when I think about it for myself, like in real life, what would be my dream home? Like what type of a style? I don't know. I know that I like vintage interiors. I like vintage mixed with some like Scandinavian style, like that sort of a thing. I feel like that's also very trendy, but I really like that, like the retro vintage mixed with some like Scandinavian vibes. I don't know, that is just kind of what I enjoy. But for the exterior of a house, like what would be my dream house? I think that is a very difficult question, but because I like vintage and retro so much, I think a house like this, like in this style with a basement, maybe like the living room or the kitchen upstairs, I don't know, like that sort of a thing. I think I would really like that in real life. Obviously, I would want it like renovated and modern, but still, I think this style of house is something that I would love to live in real life. I don't know, maybe that's weird. I don't know, is it? You tell me, but I think that would be a lot of fun. So yeah, when we moved on to the interior, when I started on the kitchen, this is basically where I decided, okay, we're gonna make this entire place retro inspired, and we're gonna go with an avocado color green kitchen. I don't think I've ever used this color of the cabinets and counters before, but I think it looks really cool in this house. So we have a very orangey wood flooring in here, which obviously works really well for the style and the color scheme. It also matches the exterior of the house pretty nicely because I went with a very orangey wood like paneling from Growing Together, which works really, really nicely on this house. So I kind of took that, and we also have a lot of white accents, like all the doors and windows and stuff are white on the exterior. So I kind of took that color scheme and brought it inside as well because I thought that would make it like flow together nicely. That would make it so it's not too overwhelming with all the colors going on. So the interior and the exterior kind of flow together in that way. And I use a lot of green mixed with it on the inside of the house because I kind of obviously wanted like an accent color, but I also wanted the house to be very like matchy. So that is basically what I went with. We have a lot of green, we have a lot of white, and we have a lot of orangey woods going on. And I am loving this style lately. I feel like I've been using a lot of orangey wood lately, but that's because of the basement clutter kit. That kit just inspired me to build all these like outdated types of builds like houses and apartments, and I have just been enjoying it to the fullest. So once again for this one, lots of orange, white, and green, and I think it turned out really, really cool. So here you can see the kitchen come together. I did completely forget to clutter up the shelf that I placed like over the window, like over top the stove. There is a little white shelf there and I completely forgot to clutter it. So sadly that shelf is empty, but maybe you can clutter it up yourself if you end up downloading this house. You could obviously clutter that one up yourself. And then, as you could probably maybe tell, I placed the coffee maker in a way where I am not sure if it's functional. I don't think it is. I forgot to play test it. I don't think the coffee maker is functional, but that is a very easy fix. You can just grab it and like snap it to a countertop, because the way I did it right now is I placed it on a countertop and then I sized down the countertop, and then I manually held down Alt so that I could freely place it off the grid, and then I placed the actual countertop like over top the size down one. I don't know if this is making any sense right now, but I can show you when we do a little tour of the place. I will make sure to show you what I did. But it's a very easy fix. You can just snap it to a countertop, get rid of the size down countertop, and you're good to go, and then it's all functional. But I really, really dislike how coffee makers, and the tea maker also, how it sits on the counter. It is just a little bit awkward. It is just like right there. It is scooted forward so much. I mean, it makes sense. It obviously has everything to do with the animation that they did for The Sims using it. But I just don't like how it sits. I don't like how it looks. I think it's awkward. So I decided to, it never really bothers me, but we were talking about it when I was doing the build on stream. We were talking about it, and then is like, that's when it started to bother me, basically. So I decided to just place it off the grid in a way that it might not be functional. But like I said, it's a very easy fix. And then here, we're moving on to the living room, which I love how this one came out. I used these couches from the Maximalist. Is it, what? It's not the Maximalist kit. What is it called? Decor to the max. Oh my goodness, yes. That is what it's called. Decor to the max. I never use the stuff that came with that kit. I like it, but I never use it because it is just a little bit too much for me. But it's very retro, and I kind of forgot about that. So I came across this couch when I was furnishing this house, and I saw it and I was like, this is perfect. And Chad was like, this is perfect. We gotta use it. So we used it, and it comes in this color that was actually so perfect for the color scheme that we had already going on for this house. It has some yellow, it has some green, it has the like brown framing on it. It's not wood, but it's still like brown, almost leaning orangey. So it was actually very, very perfect. I am so excited about the couches that I ended up using in this build. I think it's just very, very cozy. So I ended up using 2 of them because I wanted as many as I could like get away with, basically. So I placed 2 couches, and I combined it with a green chair from the Get Famous. Get Famous obviously comes with a lot of retro stuff, so I did use a whole bunch of Get Famous in this house as well. And then here off of the living room, we have a an office, basically. And I was struggling with this one because we kind of already decided that we didn't want any modern technology in this house, so no desk with a computer. What was I going to use the office for? Well, I just decided to put down like a piano and basically just make it into a little hobby room, if that makes sense. So we have a piano in here and a guitar. We also have an easel. And then there is the tiniest little balcony off of the office space. And I think that is where I placed a chess table. So we have all the little activities on this side of the house, basically just the little skill building items and little activities for your Sims to pass the time. I think that's really cute. And then obviously in the basement, we also have some stuff to do. I placed a game table down there and also a stereo. We also have a music situation up here as well, because in the living room I placed a record player, so that obviously in The Sims also works the same as any stereo. So we have music up here, and then we also have music down in the basement. And then for the bathrooms, this was so much fun because I used a bright green toilet in all the bathrooms. I used the same color scheme for each bathroom because I thought that would, you know, just make it flow together nicely. So we basically have the same set of furniture in each bathroom, but this one is a little bit bigger. So in this one I had the space for counters with a sink, but for the other bathrooms I just used a sink that came, I think, with Get Famous once again, because Get Famous, like I said, has a lot of like vintage retro stuff that came in handy for this build. So I used a lot of it. But yeah, the color scheme for the bathrooms is yellow or like beige almost, and just this green color that kind of almost looks like puke. I'm so sorry, it is so bad, but it is so good at the same time. Green is actually my favorite color. Not every green is my favorite color. Especially the one that I used in the bathroom is not my favorite color, but still there is something about it that I just like. I feel like I don't know, I would hate that color in real life for a bathroom. I would be absolutely displeased with it. I would be ripping it out and installing new stuff and painting the walls ASAP. But for some reason in The Sims, I think it's kind of pretty. It is so ugly that it looks good. I don't know what it is about that, but I feel like that. I feel that way about a lot of stuff with The Sims. So yeah, we're moving on to the downstairs area, like the ground floor basically, which is where we have the bedrooms. So we have a nice landing area. It was a little bit spacious because we had a pretty awkward staircase situation, because obviously we also have like a staircase going down into the basement. So that was a little bit of a struggle, but I ended up being able to place the stairs in a way that kind of makes sense. So I was happy about that. That did leave us with a pretty spacious like landing area, also because I wanted 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom in here, and obviously I wanted everything to be nicely accessible and stuff. So I feel like this is the way the floor plan made the most sense. But yeah, here we have the master bedroom, the parents' bedroom. I really wanted to give the parents an ensuite and then have a hall bathroom or a Jack and Jill for the other 2 bathrooms. But because we decided to put in a basement and we needed the space for another staircase, that is why I got rid of that idea, and we just have a hall bathroom down here. But I think it makes sense because we have like 3 bathrooms in this house, which I think is more than enough. The house itself isn't actually that big. As I was building the house, as I was working on the exterior, in my brain, the house was huge. It felt huge because we have so many like bump outs going on. There is like a lot of platforms on the roof and a lot of like weird window placement, and it just felt like there was a lot going on and it was really big. And then I actually took a second look at the interior and I realized the house it's really not that big. I mean, yes, it has a nicely like spacious kitchen and living room, but for the rest, it's really not that big. This downstairs area is actually pretty crammed. These 2 bedrooms are pretty small. So I feel like 3 bathrooms, because we do have 1 upstairs, we have 1 here downstairs, and we have 1 down in the basement. So I feel like 3 bathrooms is more than enough. Especially when you realize that this is an empty nester's home. So in my brain, there was literally only 2 Sims living here, and this is a lot of space for 2 Sims. I will say they have a nice backyard. It's actually pretty nice. But these bedrooms down here are still furnished for the children that have moved out. So they haven't gotten around to renovating these bedrooms or turning it into something else. They also don't really need to because they have more than enough space in the rest of the house that they don't really need these rooms for anything else. And I do think that one of the kids, so like I said, one of them already graduated college and the other one is still in college. And I do think they visit still, like maybe once every month, or like maybe even every weekend, depending on how far the campus is from the house. But I feel like they do come and visit here. So especially the one who was still in school, they still have their bedroom here at the parents' house. And then the other bedroom, which I was thinking is this one, the second one. This one is for the older kid. They don't really visit here. Well, they visit, but they don't really stay over as much anymore because they have their own house now. Maybe they are already living with their spouse. Maybe they're already married. Or maybe not, but you know, maybe they're already married. Maybe they're already at that point in their life. So they really don't need this bedroom anymore. They have their own house now. But the bedroom is still furnished for them. Maybe the grandparents kind of want to keep these rooms because they were hoping that at some point they'll get grandkids and the grandkids can come over and visit and stay the night, and they'll have like a couple bedrooms ready for them. So that is kind of what they are probably waiting for when it comes to renovating these bedrooms. So yeah, they're still all fully like decked out and decorated for the Sims that used to live in these rooms, but they are moved out and they have their own lives now. So that's basically what I was thinking. And then here we have the downstairs area. I did only furnish one bathroom on camera. So as you can see, this one here in the basement is already furnished. And the one by the bedrooms was already furnished as well. But I can quickly show you, obviously, when we do the tour of the place. But yeah, the bathrooms are all very, very similar. So downstairs here in the basement, you can see that we have these really strange windows looking straight into the pool, which is a little bit weird, but I did like it. Like, it's a nice feature. The house itself is pretty strange, so I thought it was fitting. I don't know, I thought it was fitting for the style of this house, so I actually kind of enjoy it. It'd be very weird, though, to, like, sleep in this room and, like, see out, like, look out into the pool, basically. It's very strange, because also the pool is, like, not pretty. It's not like it's an ocean with pretty fish and, like, coral and like seaweed and like underwater plants. No, it's literally just a pool. If anything, it's probably old and a little bit dirty. So yeah, it's not a pretty sight, but it does give you like somewhat like a sense of daylight in this room, I feel like. So I think it actually turned out pretty nice. But yeah, in this basement, I wanted it to look like a basement, like a storage basement, but also like a usable space at the same time. So it ended up being a little bit of both. It's messy. We have a storage closet in here. We have a bookcase in here. We have some like random stuff stored that didn't fit anywhere else, like the mattress. But then we also have a little stretcher here for whenever there is a guest coming over. I know there is like 2 empty bedrooms upstairs, so the guest wouldn't need to like stay here, but maybe it's from like back when the kids were still living here and back when the kids were having sleepovers, or maybe they have like an aunt that comes to visit every once in a while and they can stay in the basement. You know, back in the day when the kids were still living at home, something like that. But I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of like a guest bedroom in this house, because I can totally see if you want to play with this house in The Sims, like if you want to play with it in your game, then you would probably have more than 2 Sims living here. I just went with the empty nesters storyline because I thought it was fun and it's not something I do a lot. And I thought for this style of house and like the style of the interior, I thought it would make sense. But obviously it's not ideal to only have 2 Sims living in a big house like this. So maybe you would probably have all the rooms occupied, and then you'd have like a little guest area in the basement if you needed to. If, you know, Kyle Kyleson comes over and you want him to sleep somewhere, he can stay in the basement and look at the pool, you know, like good luck with that. Have fun down there. But yeah, over here we are furnishing the backyard. I think this one turned out pretty nicely. I did need to like take some time and look at the areas and see how I wanted to fill it in, because it's a pretty spacious backyard, but also I didn't want to have it be like chock full and like cluttered with activities. So it's actually pretty, well, I don't want to say empty, but there is not like a ton going on here. It's pretty minimalistic, I guess you could almost call it, because we do have a nice little seating area with some outdoor benches and couches, and then over here we have a dining area. We don't have a bar or anything here, but we do have a grill, like a little outdoor kitchen, and we have a little dining table as well. It's actually a 6-seater, no, it's an 8-seater dining table, so you can definitely have some great like outdoor family dinner parties here. I think that would be fun. And we have some lounge chairs in the grass, but also on the terrace. And then I also wanted to incorporate some planters because I did have the space for that. And I also put a yoga mat on the grass because, you know, it's a nice activity. It's a nice skill building item. And then lastly, I also parked some bicycles on the driveway, but that is basically it. So let's jump into the game and I'll show you the house in real time. So here we have the house in the game. And speaking of Kyle Kyleson, he actually is my playtester sim for this house. I completely forgot about that, but yeah, he's here. So yeah, here we have the facade of the house. We have a double driveway. I don't really know what's up with that, but I really liked the look of this like carport situation with a glass roof. But we also have an actual garage over here. So, but obviously this garage has been renovated because it was turned into a bedroom. So that's why they probably later added on the carport for a place to park the car, if that makes any sense. But here we have the facade. You can see that it's a little bit older. It's pretty like overgrown. We have some grass and some plants and some vines going on. And then when we go all the way back here, you can enter the backyard through the carport basically. And this is the backyard. So we have some grass. We have a little tree in the middle, and we just have some like different sections, a dining area, a lounge area, a seating area over here as well. And obviously the pool and some more loungers back here. So lots going on in the backyard. Even though it's not super full of stuff, I still think there's lots to do here. And then over here we have the staircase leading up to the front door. We do have a sneaky little bin over here because obviously if you want to use an outdoor bin, the kitchen is upstairs. So that means you would have to like walk all the way downstairs every time you want to empty the trash. So that is why I snuck in a little sneaky outdoor bin here in the corner. But over here we have the front door, and when we walk into the house we have this entryway space with a coat rack and everything, and basically you just walk straight into the living room. I really like this staircase situation going downstairs. I don't know what it is. It probably has something to do with the lighting coming in through the skylight, but I don't know. It's very pleasing to me. It feels very open. But over here we have the living room space with the couches that I am absolutely obsessed with. We have a fireplace that you probably don't need because this is the desert, but still. And we also have this old little retro TV. And then off of the living room, we actually do have this balcony space that has a glass floor, which is also, you know, maybe a little bit weird when you're wearing like a dress or something. But still, we don't think about that. It's The Sims. It's fine. I think it looked cool, so I went with it anyway. And then over here we have the kitchen and dining. So we have our avocado colored kitchen, and let me real quick show you what I did with the coffee maker. So when you get this countertop out of the way, you can see that I actually placed this. I snapped the coffee maker to a sized down countertop under here, and I alt placed it. Basically, I freely alt placed it. It's a little bit fiddly, but yeah, I freely alt placed it like so, and then I place this countertop over top it, which probably makes the coffee maker not functional, but it does look cool. So that is the kitchen, and then over here we have the dining area, which I really like. I love these curtains. It adds a little bit of greenery. That was actually an idea that someone in chat gave me, and I'm so thankful because I think that looks really cool. And then off of the kitchen we have another balcony over here with a small 3-seater dining table. And then over here we have the hobby space with an easel and some music instruments and also a lot of books. And we have the hall bathroom off of the office over here on this side. And then also a small balcony off of the office with a chess table. Then when we go downstairs, this is where we have the bedrooms. So we have this landing. I really like the color scheme of this landing. It has everything to do with this rug. I really like this pink that we're using in here. And then this chair was obviously perfect for it as well. So a little landing with a bathroom over here on this side, similar to the one upstairs, just with a different sink. And then over here we have the parents' room. I am in love with this wallpaper. I think it's super retro and it just fits the vibe of this place perfectly. So that was a good find. It's actually base game. So this is the parents' bed. They have a little dresser over here on this side and a little couch. There's not much going on in this bedroom, but I still still feel like it turned out really nice. And then on the other side of the hallway, we have the other two bedrooms. So this is the bedroom for the oldest kid. I was thinking that they used to be, or maybe still are, into bowling, and they have a desk in here, a little poster, but for the rest you can really tell that there is still some stuff left in this bedroom, but it's been emptied out over time. And the same goes for this bedroom over here, though I was thinking that the person staying in this room still, you know, sleeps over and uses their bedroom occasionally. So they have some dressers over here and some stuff stored, and they also have their own little desk with a lava lamp, which I thought was a cute touch. And then when we go down another level, this is where we have the basement. So the basement has its own little landing. It also has its own little bathroom. Same bathroom as upstairs, just a slightly different layout. We have some storage underneath the staircase. This is where I basically hid the season's decoration boxes. And then in here, this is where we have the basement itself, and it's messy, but still very cozy, I feel like. So we have some storage in here, some books. We have a game table here, which is nice. It makes the space a bit more functional. We have a small TV here, and also a stretcher for a guest to sleep. And you can do some dancing because we have a stereo down here. And the most gorgeous view of the pool, let us not forget. That's amazing. That's a feature, you know? But that is basically it for this house. So this retro family home is up on the gallery. It says it doesn't use any packs, but that's obviously a lie. I used tons and tons of packs. The house is very expensive. It comes in at just under 120,000 simoleons, so I feel like that is very expensive even for my standards. My houses are always extremely expensive, but this one is, you know, just that little bit extra. It is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, and I built it on a 40 by 30 in the world of Oasis Springs across from the land grabs mentioned. So if you want to place it in your game, then that is where it goes. But that is going to do it for today's video, so I really hope that you enjoyed this one. You can obviously go ahead and download it off the gallery like I just showed you. My username on the gallery is Simmary Sims. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok if you'd like. My username on there is Simmary Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so, and if you want to be notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. I also live stream over on Twitch a few times a week, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/SimmarySims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!